welcome to my channel. I know it's been long overdue and it's finally here, it's finally happening. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all of you guys that have been pushing me to do these videos, because honestly I just really needed that push and that courage to finally start this video, and I hope you guys like it. So if you guys want to see how to do this look, continue to watch. Okay, so the first thing that I usually do is I moisturize my face, and I moisturize my face with the Drunk Elephant moisturizer. I'll put it down below. I really like this just because I feel like it's not greasy, so I like wearing the greasy things at night just because I really like my skin to absorb all that moisture. So the first places you want to put it is on your nose. I just feel like that's where I get really dry, especially under my eyes. Now, one of the things you want to do, and most mistakes that people do with skincare, is that they put on a product and they don't let it absorb into the skin. And so what you're doing there is you're not doing anything. You're just combining a whole bunch of stuff. So what you want to do is basically just let this sink in for about, I'd say 5-10 minutes. And then what I like to do is I would usually go in with a primer. Okay, when I say primer, I like to use something that's very moisturizing. Okay, so what happens when you put on makeup is some of them end up, they dry your skin out. So that's why by the end of the day, you're mostly looking cakey. So to avoid that, you want to make sure you're moisturizing your face. That's why there's sprays all the time that say refreshing or refresher or whatever it is. But the case is that you just want to make sure your skin is very moisturized, and that's why people put on vitamin C. That's why people put on moisturizer before, and a whole bunch of layers of things. But that's why, because you want a good base, because it is your skin. So the next thing that I'm going to use is, right now I'm using this Il Makiage primer. I really like it. It makes my skin really dewy. So if you have oily skin, I wouldn't use that. I would just stick to the Drunk Elephant and maybe use like a spray primer. So all you need is about a couple pumps. Again, I just put this in the areas that I need it the most, like my T-zone. Now while that sinks in and it just sits, while my skin absorbs everything, what I usually do is lately I've been doing my eyebrows first, so I'm gonna do that just because I've been doing it, because I feel like when I do my foundation, the reason why I do my eyebrows first is just because I like to outline them and make them look really sharp. And what I do is I put a little bit of concealer around them, and what happens is that it creates like a barrier between the foundation and my brows. Because have you noticed that sometimes you do your foundation and then your eyebrows, and then your eyebrows are like gray, and then you have to like do a whole bunch of stuff just so you can change it back to the color. So I don't know, I just have this whole, I go back and forth all the time between doing my foundation first and then my eyebrows, so don't mind me. It's just crazy. So for my eyebrows, I do use the Anastasia Dip Brow. Now for my eyebrows, I do use the Anastasia pomade. I've been really liking this. It's just, if you don't know how to apply it, it could come out looking a little crazy. But the trick is, you want to comb all your hairs up, okay? Then you just want to gently start doing little strokes upward. I don't really go full out just because I have my eyebrows microbladed, so I just simply just like to color them in and just make them a little bit more sharper. But alright, so then what I do is I go in with a very flat. And what I've been doing, I go in with a concealer. You want to go with a concealer that is either the concealer color that you use for your under eyes. Nothing dark, don't do that. Something a little bit lighter than your skin tone. So you want to go gently, little strokes. So you see, like, I have a little bit of concealer up here. As you can see, it's just very lightly, but it just creates a little barrier. So that way, a lot of people say, oh, but if I do my eyebrows first, then I do my foundation and then it's gonna get all over my eyebrows. And I'm like, no, you're doing it wrong, darling. So what you want to do is you kind of want to go out a little bit, because here in this area you're not going to need foundation so that much and that heavy. Another thing is, what I like to do is, if I'm doing my eyes before my foundation, I definitely want to make sure that I put on either concealer or foundation into this area right here, just because I find that it's really hard to go in with a foundation after your eyes are all done and glam, it's pretty, and then sometimes you get like foundation into your eyes and it's just like, well, there goes all my hard work. So what I usually do is I go in with the MAC paint pot. I really like this just because it just makes my eyes last forever. So what I will do is apply it onto my eyes. Okay, so there we go, we have our base. So today I'll be making a look today with the El Makiage Color Boss Squad palette in Make Moves. And what I want to achieve with this is I really want to have like a really glowy look. It's something that I'm very known for. Is I really love shimmer and I love natural looks, but today I want to show you guys how you can makeup. You guys, makeup is all practice, and sometimes we get overwhelmed and we're like, oh my god, how do you do that? And I'm just like, oh my god, it's so easy. Like literally all you need to like know is how to blend, because if you don't know how to blend, you are gonna look like a hot mess. I'm going to be using the color Hold Up on my transition color. All you want to do is sweep back and forth, very gently. I really like these palettes just because it's really hard for someone to achieve a look when they're just starting off, because a lot of palettes are very pigmented. So the first thing that you put on, and like some people don't know how to use a brush. So one thing you want to know is that you have to be using a brush very lightly and just build little by little. And what these palettes do is that they're buildable. So even though you're gonna be putting this much on, it's not gonna come off a lot. And sometimes people say, oh, it's not that pigmented, and it's like, You know, sometimes that's a good thing because you're able to build things up. Because once you do a big streak, forget it, you're gonna be there forever and ever and ever and ever, just going back and forth like how I'm doing right now. Next thing that I will do is, I think I'm gonna create like a cut crease look, and it doesn't have to be so dramatic. So I'm just gonna be using a flat brush, and I'll be picking up this color, and it's called Clapback. And I'll just be putting this right here.
But if you wanna travel, then go alone. Yeah, what's the point in us if I never know? If you're gonna leave, I'ma let
This color is so pretty. This is like exactly the look that I want to do. I love everything that has to do with like glamour, glowy looks that make you look like super expensive and just like, be like, I'm here. Now if we really want to make this like boom, what you could do is you could simply wet it with water if you want. What I like about this palette is that you wet it just a little bit and it makes it look metallic. But what I like to do, because I don't like it to be like too much right now, because that's not the look I'm going for, I just spray it a little bit and then I pick up a little bit. I like to dab because I don't like it to like mix in to my palette. But it simply does, just gives a little metallic look. Now in the corners, I'm gonna go in with this color. It's called Entourage. Again, what I really like about these palettes is that it's buildable, so there's no way to really mess up with this, honestly. Now we're gonna go in with the brush that you use in your transition color. Simply go back and forth. Now I kind of want to like intensify the area where I put the glitter on. I'm going to be using this color. It's called Mood. I'm gonna put a little bit of that right here into the center of the eye. And then tap, tap, tap into the middle. Just want to blend this in a little bit. Start from the center and then bring it in. Next thing I want to do is I want to go in with a eyeliner just to line a thin layer on the top layer of my eye.
Stop
Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be applying the Il Makiage lashes in number 22. Now people tell me all the time, Brie, how do you get your lashes on? And I'm like, I don't know. Some days I struggle and sometimes I don't. But the trick is, you simply, when you want to find the center of your eye, I like to put my head back a little and I put the lash in the center. Then I start going little by little. Now these are kind of natural for me, but I think I'll do. Next step we'll be doing is, next I'll be applying the foundation, and I've been using Joy. I don't even know how to pronounce this, but here it is. I really love this foundation just because I love full coverage. The only thing that I don't like about it is that sometimes it dries up right here on me, but I've learned that less is more. I've learned that just by applying a little bit of this product, it goes a long way. So you want to shake it. Literally, I used a little drop. Look, a little drop. Put this all over. No need to apply a whole bunch. I'll be using the Il Makiage foundation brush in 100. When you use a brush, you want to use little circular motion. You can either tap. If you want more coverage, just tap. I usually use a beauty blender, but I felt like using a brush. Next, I'm going to be using the Rimmel London Stay Matte Foundation. Next, I'm going to be using the Rimmel London Stay Matte Concealer. I've never tried this, so let's see how it looks. Now for concealer, I do use a beauty blender just because next step is you want to set your under eyes as soon as possible just because you don't want them to crease anything. You don't want that to move anywhere. So I'm going to be using the Jeffree Star setting powder. I really like this powder and it smells so good. It smells like cotton candy, literally smells like cotton candy. So I'm going to be applying just a little bit. Tap. You don't want to put too much under your eye. You literally want to dab a little bit at a time, very gently. Now for the rest of my face, I am going to set it with the same powder, but I'm just going to use a little bit of powder because we don't want to put too much powder. A lot of times why people look cakey is because they use way too much powder. Honestly, either way too much powder or way too much foundation. So if that's your problem, you might want to like chill with the foundation. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the same color that I put on my base under my eye. It just really ties in the look in general. It looks really pretty. If you don't do this, I feel like you look naked. Now what we're gonna do now is I like to do a soft contour with the Hoola bronzer. Now the trick for this is, the way I contour is I basically feel my cheekbones. So I have like, I don't know, I feel like my cheekbones are pretty like noticeable. And with how you could really tell, like, let's say you can't feel your cheekbones, you can't see them. So a trick that you could do is basically, you could pretty much see like right here, this is the middle. Where you want to contour is basically from here on up. Now everyone's contour is going to be different because everyone has different faces. But for example, on me, I have really big cheeks, so I really just want to like slim this area down right here. So what I would do is I'm gonna go in with a little bit, one tap, and I'm just going to start from up here, little movements, very gentle. Even if you have a small forehead, I believe you should just put a little bit of your bronzer up here, just because I like everything to look very even. So if I just did my cheeks, I feel like, okay, what about like the center of the face, like your nose, this area, everything just needs to connect a little bit. So remember that, like, everything has to connect. Now you might want to like do this area underneath just to slim your face down a little bit. I don't really put any product onto my brush when I do this area, just because I don't want it to be like sharp lines. I just want it to like how I told you, everything to connect. Now for the nose area, I somewhat get lazy and I don't want to just get so detailed with my nose, and I'll probably do that in a different video. But in this case, since it's like very subtle, like everything, my contour is just like very subtle, I'm just gonna simply bring this brush inside of my nose. Now on top of the Hoola bronzer, I like to use this Il Makiage bronzer. Now on top of the Hoola bronzer, I like to use this Il Makiage bronzer, and it's called Touch Me. As you can see, it has like a blush in it, so pretty much I like to just work this in. It's very natural. I like the glow it gives me. You want to put this on top of the bronzer that you just put, just because some bronzers have different undertones and it's just gonna look like, it's just gonna turn a different color. It might look like a gray color. It's just not gonna look cute. So I'm gonna put this on top. Now for this look, I really want to look very glowy, so normally I go in with a very subtle highlighter, but today I do want to go in with a loose highlighter. So I really want to give my cheekbones more highlight. this look overall, I want it to look very, very glowy. So I'm going to be using the Kylie highlighter, and this one is Fiji. I love this one, but you have to be careful with it because you literally need like a little tap, little tiny tap. Now for my nose area, you do want to use a smaller brush just because if you use a big brush, your nose, like highlight, what it does, it brings out something. So if you want to make your nose look smaller and you put highlight all over it, like it's gonna make your nose look bigger. So that doesn't make sense. So highlight is to bring out, remember that. So use a little brush and you just gently in the middle, slowly, very subtle. And do this area. I also like to use this highlight to put in this area. It really makes it pop. Sometimes people get discouraged because they start off and they're like, oh my god, like this doesn't look good, and it's just like, no, you just need to keep going. Like once you keep going and finish, like little things just tie together. Like look, everything is tying together and just like looking like more like, ooh, like you can decide if you want to intensify it, if you want to make it more natural, whatever the case is, you can do it. Like there's like certain colors, like you can make a purple look very natural, you can make a purple look super glam. It just depends on your technique and how you use it all. So for my lips, I'm going to be using this Il Makiage color in Matte Gala. I love this color and it just goes on like super, super nice.
I'm searching for something that I can reach. I'm searching.
So I just applied the lip. Now you can apply any color you want. I recommend something that's more of like a brown or pink undertone in it, just so it matches with this look. But you can even do like a gloss or like a lip liner with a gloss, anything that you like, honestly. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. It means so much to me. It's been long overdue. Like I had been procrastinating for years now, and everyone had been asking me like, Brie, take out a video, do tutorials, do this and that, and I'm just like, I just didn't have the time. But now it's like I really have the time for it now, and I'm just so happy to be sharing all my tips with you guys. So please share, spread the word, give me some comments down below, give me anything any feedback, anything guys, like tell me, message me on Instagram, on here, like tell me what you want to see, honestly, and I will honestly do it. I'm aiming to do videos weekly with you guys, so I hope this really helps you guys out, and I love you guys. Thank you so much guys. It means so much to me for you guys to watch this, so please subscribe.